than a female. Now they're trying to figure out between the 2 grams of estrogen and testosterone, what makes testosterone so potent? I just want to put that out there. I mean, because it's to me, it just makes more sense to me that it doesn't matter what you try to do. It just still proves that. I mean, technically, trans women, technically, if you want to even use that study, that you're going to be a man no matter what, and even as a trans woman. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, a trans woman, you're going to be a man no matter what, and a trans male, you're still going to be female. Like, it doesn't matter what type of concoction that you use, you're still going to be exactly what you're meant to be.
Definitely. Fool me. You want to get in there?
Yeah, so I think that part of the issue here that as I'm putting on my debate team hat and I'm looking at the different arguments, I'm noticing the gender critical argument or the rad-fem argument, it sort of has 2 parts. The first part of the argument, it involves formal logic, and I think that's kind of more difficult for people to kind of make contact with just in a practical sense, which is, there are these arguments I'm hearing like, a trans woman is a type of woman. But in formal logic, if you have set A and you have set B, B can't be, I've never taken logic, but B can't be a subset of A because it's not. Like if you have a Venn diagram,
they're mutually exclusive.
Yeah, they're mutually exclusive. If you have a Venn diagram that doesn't overlap, you can't say, and the first circle is A and the second circle is B, you can't say that anything inside of B is a subset of A. It doesn't make sense because the 2 Venn diagrams are completely separate. So you can't, if I have a bunch of frogs and then I have a peacock, there's no circumstance under which frogs overlap with peacocks. So I can't say just because the peacock maybe loves frogs, that the peacock has a frog friend or a frog fantasy, it doesn't mean that peacock can become a type of frog. So the issue
or took frog hormones. Yeah.
Okay, is Bruce Jenner socially a woman when he was winning all of those medals in the Olympics, when he was fucking what's her name, Kris Kardashian and
yeah, and that's the second part. So I think there's 2 parts to the gender critical argument. The first is that it's just a logical error. It involves a lot of circular logic, and it involves these mutually exclusives where you're trying to make something that is not part of something else be a subset of that thing. When 2 things are completely separate, you can't take something from the separate things, make one a subset of the other when it's just not the case. But then the second part is, even if we do accept these absurd logical premises, like even if we do accept that, imagine for a moment that a trans woman is a type of a woman, it begs the question then, why is this group of men, why does their behavior seem to be even more male typical than even the average male? Why does their behavior, if you look at, and this is what part of when you get into psychology theory.
And what do I have in common with them?
The theory is that, like, Ray Blanchard talks about autogynephilia. He's the sexologist, and then Deborah So is his protege. So Ray Blanchard, he speculates that actually, because there is an idea, I think somebody asked Drowning earlier in the space, what does it mean to be female in your behavior or in your personality? And there actually are personality differences between men and women that we can observe. And part of what is so absurd about autogynephiles is that they tend to not only be men, but they tend to be men who are exceptionally masculine in their interests and in their thinking. So and even trans women, they have discourses among themselves about this. They have something that they call the trans hacker girl stereotype that they joke about, where they say, a lot of transgender women work in the most male-dominated fields in existence. They work in computer science and physics and engineering. So some psychologists theorize that actually being a paraphiliac is a product of having an extremely male-typical brain and having an extremely masculine temperament. This is why we see it's not just men who tend to transition into these autogynephilic parodies. It's men like Bruce Jenner, who was literally the decathlete on the Wheaties box. There is something very absurd about Bruce Jenner, who's not just a man, an exceptionally masculine man in his temperament, in his career, in his personal history. Everything about him is actually more masculine than the average man. these are the types of men who tend to transition. So the thing that makes it beyond parody, it's not just dudes that are transitioning, it's the men who are the least able to socialize appropriately with women. It's the men who are so masculine in their nature that they cannot even relate to women. And for some reason, this results in what Ray Blanchard calls an erotic target identity inversion, where it's almost like they're so heterosexual that it manifests as an obsession with women. And I think that's what makes it so creepy. These men who it's like male heterosexuality becomes inverted on itself. And these men, it's almost like their heterosexuality subsumes their identity as an individual. So I don't know. I don't remember. I've got to land my plane, but I think these men, if you look into what they're actually like, and I'm somebody who I'm not a stuck-up person. So I've hung out with a lot of different types of people in my life. I'm not a naturally judgmental person. If you talk to transgender women, they will tell you all of this in their own words. I think a lot of people who believe in gender ideology, they just haven't hung out with trans people.
You know, that was a good take. I will respond shortly. Mo Wisdom, you want to get in there, bro? You had your hand up. All right, cool. Anyways, Kaon, let me know if you want to get in there. Because your perspective is valuable. But fool me, that was really, really good. I'm not gonna lie. But Yoshi, got it.
I just also want to add too. When it comes to the whole trans perspective, we're looking, or we believe that like this whole trans ideology is like new. No, it's been tested. It's been around way before all of us was born. Even in the Roman Greek times, this whole ideology of trans existed even during those times, and then it was silenced for whatever reason. And it's just, it pops up throughout history. But one thing that has been agreed upon is that socially, a trans man and a trans woman can only exist socially. And I say that truthfully, because when there is a situation, let's just say there's like a pocket, how can I say this? If there was a apocalyptic, oh my God, why can I not say this word right now?
Yo,
apocalyptic.
Yeah, just make it. Yeah.
Apocalyptic event. It's funny that trans people would revert back to what they were born to be, right? Good example. If there was a World War III right now, trans women would still have to go to war. They would still be drafted because they're still men. Trans men that are still women or female would not even be, drafted as men, is what I'm saying. So with that being said, everything now is like social acceptance or subjective, right? I just find that to be.
I think Mo want to get in there. Yeah. Yeah, make your point. Make your point, bro. Go ahead.
And I got what you saying.
No, Yoshi, go ahead. He had his hand up.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying during the hardest of times, certain social things or social ideologies will cease to exist, either momentarily or permanently until society builds itself back up to whatever we make it. So
yep.
Just real quick though, like at one point in time, slavery, because somebody brought up slavery, right? Slavery was acceptable. Even in God's eyes, it was still acceptable, right?
I don't know about that.
No, it was, because even in the Bible.
Excuse me, Curtis. The point that you just made, sorry to cut, I just wanted to, about the war. I was just gonna push back on that potentially. So in the countries whereby, like my country, for example, they've actually quote unquote recognized these men as being female in law and things like that. What are your thoughts, or how do you think that would
exactly? Thank you. I'm
turn
glad
out in a
What do you?
yeah?
no. Yeah, hold on, Yoshi. Let me just respond to that. So yes, I don't even know how to pronounce your name, but yes, I just had mentioned that, right? And so I will respond to that, but I just have to let the hands go. Kayon, you can go, and then Danny can go next. And in space, I'll get you in there.
Yeah, and there's like 5 million things going through my head right now. Number one, angels, are they male or female or both? And number two, in prior cultures, so our popular one, quote unquote gay sex was totally acceptable. Like it was just common. It was just there. There wasn't these terms, so could we have been persuaded to consider some of these transactions or this transition, I guess, in human evolution? Are we a little constricted by our conservative background and upbringing? Because you got to look at like the Romans and the Greeks and
Hold on, Yoshi.
and everyone before that.
That's a great point. I'm gonna respond to that. Yeah. That's fine. It's fine. Yeah, let me get to the hand. But yeah, I'll respond to that shortly. Hey, Otay, what's going on?
Hi.
What's up? What's the vibes? Danny, you can go, and then I'll respond to you guys.
I was gonna say, y'all are buying into this whole thing that like, oh, trans has always been a thing. That's kind of complicated, and typically when it's a third gender, it is literally a way to kind of get gay men to chop off their own dicks. Like if you're talking about like in India where they have hijras, it's literally just because they're so homophobic, or in Iran where, they force you to have gender reassignment surgery. If you're gay, it's because they're so homophobic that they wanted to create like this caste of eunuchs. And no, socially, that's not the same as a woman at all. And it's also extremely regressive. But also, like you keep saying socially, but what does that mean? There's so many instances where they're not socially women. They're not socially women when you're choosing who to date, for the most part, as heterosexual men. Heterosexual men who tell women that we have to take these men in our places aren't going to take them into their bedrooms. They're not going to.
What does that have to do with trans women being women? What does that have to do with that?
Because they don't understand anything about being
give me a second,
woman.
Danny. Should I desire fucking a trans woman for them to be women? What are you talking about?
I think that the sex that heterosexual men are attracted to have experienced quite a lot throughout history in order to control them, control their reproduction, control sexual access to them, like I am a rat them, and to control their domestic labor. And these men do not socially, they don't socially have to do any of that. They never have, and they still don't.
What you're failing
because they're not the ones who are like dumped with a bunch of childcare and duties in the house without any kind of. No, I'm not even done.
Okay, guys.
And like socially, they're not the ones who men are talking about taking away, repealing the 19th Amendment and how women need to like have no rights, all these fucking conservatards. They're not talking about trannies. That's socially not what they're talking about. So it's not even true that they're socially women. Like,
okay, so what you're failing to realize is that gender is a multi-layered human category, right?
Yes,
that's
while you're navel gazing about that, it's like there's realities.
Give me a second, right? And what is reality? What's
reality is that being a woman is not being a man who decided that he wants to take hormones.
No, reality is
and
malleable.
Mark is a lesbian.
Reality is malleable, right? Chattel slavery was once a reality, right? So reality is made. Reality can't be manufactured. Give me a second.
Yeah, but biology is not.
Y'all are gaslighting her.
It's not malleable.
It is. No. Give me a second, fool me. I got you.
So slavery and biology. Sorry, that's.
Hey, give me a second. Yeah. Give me a second. And then, so being a woman is not only a biological classification, right? And so I can give you countless examples, right? Like legal status, right? ID, protection, rights, social roles, psychological identity.
If I need a legal status to be, I've never had to be legally declared a woman.
On your driver's license.
Yes, I'm. It says female, but I never had to go and have that done. Like it was on my birth certificate. So if you have to go out of your way to go get that changed, you're a man. You're a fucking man, because that's just not something a woman has to do.
There's a lot of, I ain't gonna lie to you, there's a lot of contradictions in power.
You have
hold on. Space gotta
in
get in
that
there. Yoshi,
same
Space
guy.
gotta. Yoshi, Space gotta get in there.
Nah,
Just
she
right
was
now.
cooking.
No, she
Yeah, she
wasn't.
was.
Just Space.
Yes,
Just,
she
just,
No,
was.
no. There's a lot of different
thank you,
levels of
Kayon.
understanding. That's all.
I'm just gonna say this: the fact that you keep talking about society has to accept, right? Society doesn't have to accept a woman for a woman to be a woman. It doesn't matter where we go on this planet, right? I don't give a fuck. Change the label, but we know a woman is a woman because everybody recognizes what a woman is, right? Again, we know what the functionality of a woman. Right, the fact that it's that you keep saying what society said, so that's the whole point. But in other part of the world, society doesn't accept it, so they honor women. That's the whole. Your whole argument is based on
Yet,
what.
That
yet,
Hold
wasn't
on,
my
keep in
argument.
mind, everything else in this whole universe has always started with a weird idea.
Wait, I
And
have a
then
Thank you.
question
everybody
though.
signed
I have
on
a
to it,
question
like,
because what
No,
about
i.e.,
the
Jesus.
those like transgender people you'll see at Walmart and it's like a man wearing a dress with a full beard? Like, what do you make of that? Because I don't want to call that a woman.
so Zoe, right? I did not say. I didn't say. I said that it's not only society, but in certain countries and society, legally, trans women are accepted as women,
that's still
right? And
society
so,
was
give me a
denying.
second. Hold on, right?
I'm confused.
My initial argument was that one is not born a woman; one becomes one.
That
Right?
makes no sense because
You would never define a little girl. You would never call a
again,
little girl a woman,
again,
right? And
again,
that's
I
my point.
did
It's
no, no,
social. It's a social construct.
again. So Rita, what is the definition of a woman? What exactly is a woman?
You become a woman.
You can
Okay,
you read
but
the
that's what I'm
definition?
saying though. Those
An adult
trannies
So
in
human
Walmart with beards are
female.
not women.
That is the legal definition. An adult human female.
exactly. Like, why are
So
you trying to
once
dismiss?
you hit
Hey, hold on. Give me a
puberty,
second.
No,
Give
no,
me a
stop
second. If
telling me to
that's
give
the
you a
hold
second
on.
because you
If
do that, then, bro.
no, I'm saying if that's the legal definition, then why are trans women legally accepted as women?
because of the political pressure and
Oh my God,
ideological
that's
I guess
irrelevant.
discussion.
autogynephiles had this thing called the Yogyakarta convention. There's a few billionaires and they basically really push hard. I mean, you can go read like the Transhumanist Manifesto by Martin Rothblatt. He talks about all of this, and it's very male in how he conceptualizes it and completely minimizes what womanhood is. As if somebody who was born male, has been male, would know anything about quote unquote what it feels like to be a woman. How philosophically could one who is male know what it feels like to be female, because that is what they're saying, that they were born in the wrong body. They were born in a male
You
body
become a
when
woman.
they
No,
I'm talking about Rihanna. She cut me off.
I'm
That's
saying,
cut your bald ass
I'm
off.
saying, hold
Go.
on, just make your point.
Here we
Good.
go.
Nigga, just go.
Hold on, go ahead. Just make your point. Go ahead.
So
It is receding though.
no, it's not.
God damn.
No, it's not. Anyway, like I said, what I'm saying, he's arguing from a social standpoint of like trans womanhood, right? Like, so what it means to be
we know.
and from a trans woman standpoint.
Why you didn't yell at Hotep?
What I'm arguing.
Oh.
What?
Go.
Eat dick, nigga.
Hold on. Let's
yeah, she wants my ass on her nose again.
Yeah, no, bitch. You got to mute to say that weak ass shit.
Hold on. No, Yoshi, Yoshi, just focus.
They said she eats niggas' asses.
Hold on, get Yoshi, just focus. Go.
Allegedly, that's what she said. In 3 spaces.
Go.
Anyway, all I'm saying is, I'm arguing from a standpoint of what Hotep is also arguing from a standpoint is, you're looking at a social aspect. What we're saying is, no, it's beyond social. In order to be a woman, the social aspect of a woman is, of course, going from puberty to womanhood. How do you go from puberty to womanhood? Well, you have to have a menstrual cycle that enters you socially to be a woman. And then by the biology standpoint, that also enters you into womanhood, because biology also states in order for a woman to have a period, she has to be biologically a woman. But you're arguing power from a social standpoint that does not meet both of those requirements. You're arguing from like a social ideology standpoint. That's all I was trying to say.
Okay, fair enough. And the only reason why, right, and there has been studies and there has been scholars who have made claims that one of the reasons why women get their periods is it's also socially determined, right?
Exactly.
Like,
how?
so
yeah,
so
but it's still a biological standpoint as well.
Give me a second. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Bro, y'all are crazy,
No,
bro.
explain that part.
If that's the case, then men would have periods.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you.
Some men